Good day, dear student. Today our topic is urinary system. The urinary system is one of the four excretory systems in our body. The other three are bowel, lungs, and skin. Components of urinary system: 2 kidney, 2 ureters, urinary bladder, and urethra. The kidneys remove the waste product for the metabolism, excess water and salts from blood, and maintain the pH. Ureters convey urine from the kidneys to the urinary bladder. The urinary bladder is a muscular reservoir of urine. Urethra is a channel to the exterior. The kidneys or reins. Definition: the kidneys are a pair of excretory organs situated on the posterior abdominal wall, one on each side of the vertebral column, behind the peritoneum. They are located at the back of the abdominal cavity in the retroperitoneal space. The kidneys are located high in the abdominal cavity, one each side of the spine, and lie in a retroperitoneal position at a slightly oblique angle. I repeat for you. The asymmetry within the abdominal cavity caused by the position of the liver typically result in the right kidney being slightly lower and smaller than the left, and being placed slightly more the middle than the left kidney. We can see kidney in retroperitoneal space, this back side. Location: the kidney occupies the epigastric, hypochondriac, and umbilical region. Vertically, they extend from upper of 12 thoracic vertebrae to the body, to the third lumbar vertebra outside. The right kidney is slightly lower than left, and the left kidney is little median plane the right. The kidney surface anatomy. External features: each kidney is bean-shaped. It has upper and lower poles, middle and lateral border, and anterior and back posterior surface. The upper pole is broad and is close contact with the corresponding suprarenal glands. The lower pole is pointed. The lateral border is convex. The middle border is concave. The middle part of the middle border is depressed and is known as hilum. Measurements: color reddish brown, length about 11 centimeter long, width 6 centimeter broad, thickness 3 centimeter thick, width males 150 gm and female 135. In fetus, the kidney is lobulated and is made up of about 12 lobules. After birth, the lobules fuse so that in adults the kidney is uniformly smooth. Surface making. Left kidney, right kidney, and we can see middle part, middle border, lateral border. Converings. It has 3 converings: innermost fibrous capsule or through capsule, middle fatty capsule, perinephric fat. It is a collection of fatty tissue. It acts as a shock absorber and helps to maintain the kidney in its position. The false capsule, made of renal fascia. It has 2 layers, anterior and posterior. Superiorly, the 2 layers enclose the suprarenal gland and then merge with diaphragmatic fascia. That is why the kidneys move this respiration. And I can show you relation anteriorly. Suprarenal, this located liver, it attached with liver. This place attached with duodenum, and this place attached with right colic flexor, and this place attached with coils of small intestine. And we can see artery of kidney, renal artery branches from aorta. I tell you about it, and I tell you about macroscopic structure. We can see kidney has 2 parts, medulla part and cortex. And we can see papilla of kidney, renal pyramids of kidney. This part renal cortex, this part renal medulla. Renal medulla includes renal pyramids, consists of renal pyramids. And we can see minor calyx. Minor calyx collect to major calyx, and major calyx collect to renal pelvis. And you can see nether organ, minor calyx, major calyx, renal pelvis, and it is renal cortex, and it is renal medulla. This is renal pelvis, and this is ureter. This renal vein, this renal artery. And I tell you about nephron. The kidney may be regarded as a collection of millions of uriniferous tubules. Each uriniferous tubule consists of an excretory part called nephron and of a collecting tubule. Each kidney contains over 1-2 million nephrons and thousands of collecting ducts. This is part of cortex, and we can see nephron. Structure of nephron. The nephron is the microscopic structural and functional unit of the kidney. It is composed of a renal corpuscle and renal tubule. The renal corpuscle consists of a tuft of capillaries called a glomerulus and an encompassing Bowman capsule. A healthy adult has 0.8 to 1.5 million nephrons in each kidney. They cleanse the blood and balance the constituents of the circulation. The efferent arterioles form a tuft of high-pressure capillaries, about 200 nanometer in diameter, the glomerulus. After passing through the renal corpuscle, the capillaries form a second arteriole, the efferent arteriole. In a dissected kidney, it is easy to identify the cortex. It appears lighter in color compared to the rest of the kidney. All of the renal corpuscle, as well as both the proximal convoluted tubules, PSTs, and the distal convoluted tubules, are found here. Some nephrons have a short loop of Henle that does not dip beyond the cortex. And we can see nephron. This artery and artery branch to arterioles. This is efferent arteriole. This is efferent arteriole. This is Bowman capsule. This proximal convoluted tubule. This loop of Henle. This is distal convoluted tubule and collecting duct. Renal corpuscle. The renal corpuscle consists of tuft of capillaries called the glomerulus that is largely surrounded by Bowman or glomerular capsule. This. We can see renal corpuscle. Renal corpuscle includes glomerular capillaries and Bowman capsule. This. And this part of renal tubule, this is efferent and efferent arterioles. Proximal convoluted tubule, PST. Filtrate fluid collected by Bowman's capsule enters into proximal convoluted tubule, PST. It is called convoluted due to its Tartarus path. Simple comboid cells form this tubule with prominent microvilli on the luminal surface, forming a brush border. These microvilli create and larger surface area to maximize the absorption and secretion of solute, natri, chloride, glucose, etc. The most essential function of this portion of the nephron. This proximal convoluted, this part, proximal convoluted tubule. This proximal convoluted tubule. Loop of Henle. The descending and ascending portion of the loop of Henle are, of course, just continuation of the same tubule. The descending loop of Henle consists of an initial short, thick portion and long, whereas the ascending loop consists of an initial short, thin portion followed by a long, thick portion. The descending thick portion consists of simple composite epithelium similar to that of the PST, the descending and ascending thin portion consists of simple squamous epithelium. This loop of Henle. Distal convoluted tubule, DST. The distal convoluted tubule, like the proximal convoluted tubule, is very tertiary and formed by simple composite epithelium, but it is shorter than proximal convoluted tubule. These cells are not as active as those in the proximal convoluted tubule. Thus, there are fewer microvilli on the apical surface. However, these cells must also pump ions against their concentration gradient. Collecting ducts. The collecting ducts are continuous with the nephron but not technically part of it. In fact, each duct collects filtrate from several nephrons for final modification. They are lined with simple squamous epithelium with receptor for ADH, antidiuretic hormones of vasopressin, antidiuretic hormones. And repeat. This nephron corpuscle includes glomerular and Bowman capsule. This proximal convoluted tubule, these loops of Henle, this descending part, this ascending part, this distal convoluted tubule, and this collecting tubule. Glomerular filtration rate. The volume of filtrate formed by both kidneys per minute is termed the glomerular filtration rate. The heart pumps about 5 liters blood per minute under resting condition. Approximately 20% or 1 liter enters the kidney to be filtered. On average, this liter results in the production of about 125 milliliter in 1 minute filtrate produced in men and 105 milliliter per minute filtrate produced in women. And nephron, we can see blood supply nephron, this renal artery, this blood efferent capillaries, this efferent capillaries, and urine refreshed blood. Urine formation. Nephrons take a simple filtrate of the blood and modify it into urine. Many changes take place in the different part of the nephron before urine is created for disposal. The principal task of the nephron population is to balance the plasma to homeostatic set points and excrete potential toxin in the urine. They do this by accomplishing 3 principal functions: filtration, reabsorption, and secretion. They also have additional secondary functions that exert control in 3 areas: blood pressure, byproduct of renin, red blood cells production, their hormones erythropoietin, and calcium absorption via conversion of calcitriol and into calcitriol, the active form of the vitamin D. Kidney function, I tell you. Blood supply diagram. Arterial supply. Renal arteries, which are the direct branches of abdominal aorta and large inside. Venous drainage, renal veins, and an inferior vena cava. The left renal vein is longer than right. Nerve supply. Sympathetic fibers derived from T10, L1 segments and parasympathetic fibers from vagus nerve. Lymphatic drainage into lateral aortic nodes. And you can see this aorta branch, renal artery branch from aorta. The ureters. Definition. The ureters are a pair of narrow, thick-walled muscular tubes which convey urine from the kidneys to urinary bladder. Each ureter is about 25 cm long. The upper half lies in the abdomen and lower half in the pelvis. It measures 3 mm diameter, but is slightly constricted at 3 places: at the pelvic-ureteric junction, at the brim of lesser pelvis, and its passage through the bladder wall. Parts. For the purpose of the description, ureter is divided into 2 parts. From the site of origin to the pelvis brim, abdominal part, and from pelvis brim to entry into urinary blood, pelvic part. Ureters continue. The kidney and ureters are completely retroperitoneal, and the bladder has a peritoneal covering only over the dome. As urine is formed, it drains into the calces of the kidney, which merge to form the funnily shaped renal pelvis in the hilum of each kidney. The hilum narrows to become the ureter of each kidney. As they approach the bladder, they turn medially and pierce the bladder wall obliquely. This is important because it creates a one-way valve that allows urine into the bladder, but prevents reflux of urine from the bladder back into the ureter. Children born lacking this oblique course of the ureter through the bladder wall are susceptible to vesico-ureteral reflux, which dramatically increase their risk of serious ureteritis. Pregnancy also increases the likelihood of reflux and UTI. Ureter cross-section. Ureter has 3 layers. Outer layers, fibrous layers, middle layers, muscular layers, and inner layers, epithelium layer. And repeat. Outer layer, muscle layer includes 3 fibers. Inner longitudinal muscle, middle circular muscle, and outer longitudinal fibers. Blood supply. Ureter is supplied by branches of renal artery. Renal artery branches of abdominal aorta. Then blood supply gonadal artery, gonadal artery branches from common iliac artery, internal iliac artery, inferior vesicular artery, and the nerve supply, autonomic nervous system. Urinary bladder. The urinary bladder is a hollow muscular organ which functions as a reservoir for the urine reserved from the kidneys and to discharge it out periodically. Superior part of bladder and superior wall of empty bladder. Position. Empty bladder is the adult situated within the pelvis. When distant, it rises up to the abdominal cavity and becomes an abdominal pelvic organ. Capacity. The mean capacity of the bladder is 220 milli, being 220 milli causes a desire to multirate. Filling up to 500 milli may be tolerated, but it becomes painful. Shape. The empty bladder is four-sided pyramid in shape and has 4 angles, an apex, neck, and 2 lateral angles. 4 surface, base, posterior base, 2 inferior surface, and superior surface. Relationship. This female bladder and this male bladder. Female bladder lies above urethra and above colon and rectus. And male pelvis, we can see same, but male pelvis lies more upper part of pelvis than female. Bladder has 3 layers. Outer layers, loose connective tissue. Middle layers, smooth muscle and elastic fibers. Inner layers, lined with transitional epithelium. The mucous membrane is straw-colored and is thrown into folds. When bladder is distended, these folds disappear. The posterior wall shows a smooth triangular area called trigone. There are no mucous folds in this region. At the upper lateral angle of the trigone are the urethric opening. At its inferior angle is the internal urethral orifice. The urethra. The urethra is a canal extending from the neck of the bladder to the exterior at the external urethral orifice. Male about 20 cm long, female through to 4 cm long. Short length is why female have more urinary tract infection than males, standing bacteria from stool contamination. Female urethra, 3 to 4 long, I repeat. External urethral orifice between vaginal orifice and clitoris. Urethral sphincter. Detroit muscle, thick-knit, smooth muscle, involuntary control. External, this internal, uretrosphincter, this internal uretrosphincter. And this consists of skeletal muscle and has voluntary control. Male bladder and urethra. 18 centimeter long, internal uretrosphincter and external uretrosphincter. And 3 regions: prostatic urethra, membranous urethra, and penile urethra. And my dear student, we finished our lesson. Thank you for attention.